Alright, hello everybody, I am still MadMega, and this is Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout, and you're probably thinking to yourself, now why is this in a Halloween marathon? And I will, and you know, the guy, everybody, all the good folk at RGL, they probably thought, they probably saw this and thought, you know, MadMega was up late again, wasn't thinking, just submitted random things to our Halloween marathon. But there's some things we can talk about, but at any rate, I am dressed as one Bugs. I think you can see the name. So that's some Bugs. So, with all that being said, let's get to it. I will tell you the story. We don't need to read the cards, all right? We don't need that. Also, check out them ears. They're bouncing around a little bit, you know. All right, so time technically starts on control, but I'm not gonna try to figure out exactly when that is here. We're just gonna go. So this is the story of Bugs Bunny just maliciously going around and you know, indiscriminately murdering every semi-sentient you know, anthropomorphized you know, soapbox or what have you. He's just on a rampage, you know. He's like, so just consider that a little bit when you think, you know, if maybe this is an appropriate game for Halloween, you know. It sounds all happy and everything. You know, wait. Don't get ahead of yourself here. I mean, think of all these innocent soapboxes that Bugs is mowing down here. There's quite a few. Like this guy's actively campaigning. Daffy Duck is actively campaigning, you know, for Bugs to be shot, you know? Like that's pretty dark, right? He says. Is this one of those, like, look at the camera, like there's a, I'm like, where's the Ron Howard narrator? Like, I'm sure there's a glib comment to make here. Anyways, I should probably talk about the game like a little bit, from a mechanical perspective, because you're probably wondering, wow, how did they get Bugs Bunny onto the NES so impressively? And you know, the answer is the game runs at a blazing 16 frames per second. Occasionally it runs a little faster, but usually it's about 16 frames per second. All right, so one of the, like, the major one of the major like speed tech bits in this game is that we're going to try to avoid carrots, and the reason for that is that if you have 10 carrots at the end of most stages, you have to do a bonus game. The bonus games are slow, and we really don't want to do those, so we're going to try not to. But sometimes you have to collect carrots because you need them to, like, create paths, or they're placed in a way that you really can't avoid them. So in those cases, you know, we suck it up and we eat our carrots, and we get great vision because of it, and you know, that's great. Like, it helps us play video games, actually. You know, that good vision and all those carrots. Now, I don't know why that big carrot becomes a like hot air balloon. Which is its own kind of weird, right? That's scary, I think. It's like this carrot just randomly transforms into a into a hot air balloon. Like, whoa, that's weird. Like there's almost like some like dream logic to it, you know? I mean, I guess that makes sense. This is the Looney Tunes and whatnot, but okay. So now we have 11 carrots, and remember what I said earlier about how you don't want more than 10. That's not actually a concern here, because this is the fourth stage. This is the fourth stage in a particular level, and so there's Wile E. Coyote. Remember him. Remember him. So Wile E. Coyote there, you know, he's got a fork and a knife, and he's just running at Bugs, you know, like, wow, that's a little excessive. Do not adjust your audio. The game is just making that noise because it hates us. Don't worry about it. Well, that's the sound of the collapse of some of the desert. So those are bullet sprinklers. They do a ton of damage, like an obscene amount of damage. You'll note that there's the hearts in the top right corner, or top left corner. Yes, my left or your left? But at any rate, it's the top left of the screen. There are those hearts, and you'll note that the one at the bottom there is changing colors. Note that it went from black to clear. That means that I can only take one lesser hit. But the red one, I can take a bunch of lesser hits. However, there are things that take the full red heart, so you just have to... You know. So you technically have a very strange amount of HP. So this is our bonus stage. We just got a 1-up, and that you can see why you don't want that from a speedrun perspective, because it's slow, but luckily for us, it was just the 1. In my practice all week, I've been getting 4s. 4 in a row, which gives you a 5-up. I have not gotten the 50-up, though. That could come at any time. We're waiting for it to occur sometime during a marathon. I kind of hope it does. I think it'll be funny. So we're gonna jump here. This is so silly. They just shake the screen on you for no reason. Like, that seems really mean and unnecessary. Oh, so we're gonna see the dumb hammer. If you get slowed down at all on this screen, you see this hammer here, and that means that you didn't move very well. So those are tumbleweeds. They do damage for some reason. Going up. Oh, those are cheese balls. They're bad for you. Don't eat those. This is another Tweety. Tweety has just been the worst. This stupid bird. That all being said, go birds. But, alright. So we've got another little bit of, desert to traverse here. We're just taking a whole bunch of damage. We don't really care because there's a heart coming up right here, and that'll fill us right back up to good. We feel so healthy again. Don't feel so great anymore. You know what? In the interest of not dying, let's take a little extra health. Why not? You know, it's the worst that could happen. So we jump here and we hold A. Oh no, it didn't. We went under it, so that's not terribly great. But we picked up that extra health, so we should actually be fine here. If we hit that guy, it'll bounce those two bullet sprinklers into each other, and that's the end of them. Try to get those cheese balls to follow us. Because, hey, why not? Now, see, there's another situation where you really can't do anything about those carrots. You're going to just have to eat your carrots, or you go slow. Those are your options. Alright, so this is round 4 in the desert. Now, you should just be, you can just walk through that. I generally don't, because sometimes you can fall down, but the other ones will let you walk through all the time, so. Just jump over that clock. Again, you know, my favorite thing about this game really is all of the characters that are from all of my favorite, you know, Warner Brothers Looney Tunes properties, like Anthropomorphic Clock, Anthropomorphic Hammer, Cheese Ball, random collection of color-changing balls. Like, these are all some of my favorite characters. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, they are absolutely top-notch. Here's one I don't really care for. This guy, it's Yosemite Sam. Giant carrot turning into a hot air balloon. Because hey, why the hell not? All right, we're at the 3 stages. So now we're in the mountains. You know, nothing good happens in the mountains. These are poison frogs. Totally on brand with the rest of the game, right? Like, why not have poison frogs? Sure. We're just gonna collect that. Uh-oh. We're, moving a little poorly here. That's okay. Jump up here. And we use a little bit of a speed boost there. You know what? I didn't trust it. I didn't like my movement there. I felt like I jumped a little early. There's Daffy saying, we're wabbit season. Balls that are sometimes safe and they are sometimes not. Such a great character. Like every time they show up, warms my heart. Like the cameo in their version of A Christmas Carol, just tears, I say. Okay, unfortunately, we're gonna collect a bunch of carrots here because they're really hard to avoid. Just jump over that. Volcanoes are going off. Things are crazy down here. So we actually jump on that guy because it's funny. And then we come down here. And here's our first viewing of good old Elmer Fudd. Good old Fudd. The Fudd himself, Mr. Fudd. Perfect. So you want to hit that hammer and jump through that cheese ball to get the health to sort of drop the way you want it to. Because things do more or less damage than you really kind of want them to in this stage. Yeah, so that's... we're a little low on health, so we're gonna do this and just take both of those, because that should be safe. And now we'll jump up here, and so, see how you don't really need to collect that carrot, but you almost are going to anyway, so we just kind of are like, alright, fine, I guess we eat our carrots today. That was a frame perfect jump, which I know I explained earlier that it, you know, it's 16 frames per second, so it's not that impressive, but you know, still, that was frame perfect. Alright, so we have... Alright, we're getting another one up. Hooray! Goodness, just, you know, hit... That's okay. I wanted to show everybody the death mode. The death mode is hilarious. Like, it's so funny. Let's go up here. We could have played that better, but you know what? Things have gotten a little rocky. And I don't mean like the boxer. No. Alright. These jokes are horrifying. I assure you, that is not really that scary because you can kind of like walk through that stuff with consistency, but it's a little scary. A little bit. Alright, so here's Sylvester. Junior, fooled you. Okay, so this is the big guy. And you just gotta hit him. He's skateboarding, you know. He's just trying to enjoy some time with his son. And Bugs Bunny rolls up and just beats them both to death with a hammer. You can't tell me that this isn't a horror game. Like, that's terrible. Like, what kind of monster? What kind of monster would do such a thing? Really, I'm just, you know, I'm asking. I'd like to know. So here's a spooky underground area clearly this is scary. I mean, look at all the scary water and everything. So we're just gonna kind of do this here, jump there, jump there. We just keep picking up hearts because this stage just gives us a whole bunch of them. So why not? Need to make sure not to land on the spikes. The spikes will do a full heart of damage and will thus kill us, so we have to make sure we don't land on those, but we can land on these other things if it so happens, but we only did a little bit. Exactly, it's, you know, it's just terrible. It's just like Sylvester and Sylvester Jr. enjoying a nice time at the mountain skating around, and then Bugs rolls in and just mallet. With malice, even. A mallet with malice. That sounds like a Looney Tunes episode. It does, I think. A mallet with malice. Minor warning, there is a little bit of flashing here. It shouldn't happen much if my movement's good, so wouldn't worry about it much. But there can be just very brief flashing. If you see an oil can that has like fire above it, the screen may flash. Oh, we didn't want to get both. One is fine, but both, pff, bad, not cool. Alright, so it's really funny this stage because as soon as you jump through that heart, that screen moves so much better. So this is another Tweety, and Tweety's gonna be a jerk because Tweety is always a jerk, you know. Take that, you stupid bird. Only bird worse than D. Reynolds. Heyo. Spooky songs, do 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 do. I'll stop. Nobody wants that. Like, that's maybe the scariest thing that's been shown on screen. I've gotta stop. Avoid the cheese balls. Kill some hammers, because that's cool. So there are multiple ways to kill enemies. If you jump on top of them and hit them from on top with your hammer, they'll like just go the opposite way until they hit into something else and then they'll die. Or you can directly hit them directly and they'll die. But it's more fun to hit them and send them flying, like that oil can, for example. Haha, we're using foreground objects to avoid Daffy. We're smart. It's a smart wabbit. One might even say wascally. But I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. You know, I mean, I might call him wascally, but you know, your mileage may vary. So you'd think you might be able to walk across this. You will not. You will eventually fall and die. We're going to be a little cautious here and not get hit by those. Walk over here. Jump onto these little moving platforms. Because obviously these platforms are very thematically appropriate for the area too. Like, I think it's worth pointing that out. Alright, so we're going to take that hit so that we can walk through the water, which is a full heart of damage for whatever reason. That doesn't matter because we get a heart right here, right before we see Pepe Le Pew. Also a terrifying thing. He's farting at us. That seems unkind. So in this case, that might actually be a case where Bugs could justifiably plead self-defense. Now, I don't know. But, you know, hey. That one's at least plausible. Like I said, those are my favorite Warner Brothers characters. Sometimes safe balls, sometimes deadly balls. These vines are really scary. You can manipulate them, but if I screw up the manipulation, it's not unlikely that I will die. There's some mean things about all of this, to be completely honest. So let's scoot over here. Here, so now we get some awesome music. Bump! Now the reason why we want that is this gives us the ability to jump super high, and to do that, normally you can't jump that high. So like you get that awesome music and you get to jump like an extra like quarter height. Well, one more one-up. I should have been keeping count. I don't know what I'm doing. That would have been fun to know, you know, but I didn't, because I don't think that far ahead. Oh, we didn't mean to grab that. That's okay. Kill that guy, jump up here. There's Oscar the Grouch. Don't think he was presently on loan at the time, but, you know, hey. There's a spider up there. That seems scary. That seems Halloween appropriate, right? Here's the second FUD. Got one more FUD to go. Hey, we got another one up. So if we're at 7 and I died once, so we should have 8, so that's 5 one-ups. That's 5 one-ups that we've collected so far, that's what I think. Or have I died twice? I think I've only died once, everybody. But I'd believe you if you told me I died more than once. I'm really hurt. I'm hurt real bad. Okay, so this should mean that we go here, and then we go here, and then we go here. Can run under him. Oh, almost. We've got to be careful because our health is real bad. So let's do this. Luckily, our health can be healed up very nicely. Take this elevator. Now, these stages are only really difficult because it's very easy to, you know, to get lost. You know, as Bugs often does, he can take the, you should take the left turn at Albuquerque, but, if you mess it up, you miss it. Alright, so no more onesie-upsies here. What are we doing? Haha! Got hit there. Jump over. Oh man, did we collect a whole bunch of carrots that we did not want. Yikes. That's okay, that's okay. That's not the end of the world. So there's Foghorn Leghorn. Yeah, we aren't gonna deal with him. We're just gonna beat up his nephew. Cause that's what we do. Again, you know, they're just having a nice picnic. And here I come with a hammer. I'm just saying, it's some dark stuff, man. So this is spoopy, right? Like this is scary. Like look at this. They've got like little candelabras in the back. Candelabras in the back, right? Like those, they're flickering. Flickering candelabras feels like something that automatically is Halloween-y. Like I'm just gonna throw it out there. Like everybody can argue about amongst themselves if you like, but you know I'm gonna make the argument that, you know, it's at the very least, if you see that, you know, you got to start thinking about it. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'll say. I don't think it's an unreasonable position. Little bird? I mean, you know. You can think of your nephew as a nuisance. Just saying. Judgment-free zone. Judgment-free zone. Ha! They just rolled that thing at me. I don't even know what that is, but they roll it at me, and I'm just like, nope. Try again. Okay, so we're in a little bit of trouble here. We're gonna jump. I'm gonna collect that thing. Oh dear. So things are looking grand. There we go. 'Cause why not? Okay. Just had to, you know, get a little, had to get a little crazy there for a second. Okay. So this is the third and final FUD. You know, I like to think of the FUDs as like, you know, the first one's that's one tier and then the second tier. So like if you think of it in that way, you can argue that that space was the final FUD tier. Yeah. I think the viewer count just went from like a couple hundred. I think there's 7 people here. I think that's the number now. There's 7 people left after that joke. I'd apologize, but I'm not sorry. So there's false floors here you have to jump over. Like, you wouldn't know that, but I played this game a lot, so I know that. But false floors are pretty scary, I think, right? Don't you? I think they are. So right here, that's a false floor. Because it's different than the regular floor, and you can tell. And that little spring there will send you right into that false floor, so you gotta know. You gotta know. That's the last Daffy, and we don't have enough carrots, so we're gonna get out of here. We're not going to have, unfortunately, we're not gonna get a 50 up, everybody. I'm really sorry. This is the final stage, and we're gonna see how we do. We might have already screwed it up because of the bit of trouble we had at the very beginning movement-wise. And yep, we didn't make that. That's okay. That had nothing to do with the cycle. I just messed it up. Alright. Collect that little spring there. Jumping up. Now, if you do this right, you jump... And that saves you a little bit of time because you can beat a cycle, but you take that hit from that falling block there, which you know, trade-offs, as it were. Doesn't really matter because the final boss, they either do 1 heart of damage or none. So it's, you know, if anything less than a full heart doesn't do any good. So this is the final boss. This is the Tasmanian Devil. He's gonna throw footballs at us. They're supposed to be pies, but they look like footballs to me, everybody. And with that, we gotta get 1 more of these, and that is time. Alright, so real quick, we gotta stick through this here, because I told you that I'd explain to you, you know, some of this stuff, so. He's got all his friends here. So, okay, just keep in mind here, now, these were all his friends. This was all just a show for him, and he was going around and beating them with hammers. So that's terrifying. That's horrifying. But also point out, remember Wile E. Coyote? Wile E. Coyote ain't here. He was actually trying to eat bugs. So there's cannibalism. You know, that's Halloween stuff. I'm just saying. Just saying. That's a hell of a birthday. All right, RGL. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for letting me play my silly Ghostbusters game in this absolutely, completely inappropriate Halloween game. Bugs Bunny. Stick around. EBC's coming up next. Looking forward to that. I believe we got some Friday the 13th. And hey, that's an actual Halloween game. So stick around. And yeah, no, you didn't see. Peace, everybody.